Hola y bienvenidos a mi página de YouTube. So I just decided that I was going to make a video about the Spanish visa process. I studied abroad in 2015 in Sevilla, Spain, and I had an amazing time, but my university really helped me with the visa process. So I thought, I've done it once, I can do it again, and I just recently had my consulate appointment. And actually a lot of my documents were incorrect, and even though I had tried really hard for months to be prepared, if you don't have a university or a program that's fact-checking you, you don't really know when your documents are the way that they need to be. So I'm just going to lay it all out on the line and kind of guide anyone who might be wanting to do this as well. This video is not going to cover people who are non-US nationals or minors, and it's also going to specifically cover the consulate out of Houston. First step that you need to do if you would like to obtain a student visa to Spain is decide when you're going. You're going to need at least 3 months. When you're 3 months away from leaving, that's when you can make your student visa appointment at the consulate in Houston. And it takes about 4 weeks to get your passport back from the consulate, so you're gonna want to do this pretty soon. Make it ahead of time, make it super early, because these spots fill up fast, and especially for the months of June and July. Once you know when you're going, you've made your appointment, you will need a bunch of different documents to be ready for your appointment. Everything that I'm about to list for you as far as documentation, you're going to need the original and a photocopy of it. So 2 copies of the online application for student visa. The next thing you're going to need are 2 passport photos, and you can get these pretty much at any CVS or Walgreens. They're going to be like little guys like this. So there's going to be a little box in your student visa application that says attach photo here. Then you'll need your passport with at least 1 blank page so they can apply the visa to it. Then you're going to need a state photo ID. So for most people this will be your driver's license. And then you'll need an acceptance letter from either a university or a program. So for a long time I was confused about this part because I thought that I had to go through a very official Spanish university. I got those questions answered when I called and spoke with a teaching English as a foreign language school in Spain, and they said that even as a language school, it doesn't have to be an official university. It can just be a program, and if they are able to write you a letter with the requirements met, then it will pass. It should say is that you're going to be a full-time student. It needs to have your name and the address of the school, the telephone number, their number that registers them with the Ministry of Education, the duration with the exact dates that your program will start and end, the subjects you're going to study, and how many hours a week you're going to be in class. Next will be evidence of funds, and this is one that even though there are instructions on the website, it's a bit confusing, and it's actually the one document that kept me from getting my visa. Basically, you need to prove that you have enough money to spend time in Spain, and the requirement for Spain is that you have 658 American dollars per month that you want to go. On the website it says that you just have to prove that you have this amount in your bank account. However, when I presented my documents, I had my months from April, May, and June, and the total amount less than $4,000 was in my June bank statement, but not in the May or April, because I was saving as I went, and I just thought it had to have the total. However, when I presented these documents at the consulate, they circled it and said, I see you have the amount, but really we need the whole amount under $4,000 to be on all 3 bank statements. It's an important detail that if you're trying to do this on your own, someone needs to tell you ahead of time so that something like this doesn't happen to you. Next would be your health insurance. This is another thing that I had trouble with. When I called my insurance company, I'm still under my parents' insurance, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield. They said, yes, of course, we cover anywhere in the world, blah, blah, blah. So they sent me a letter that said all the details of when I would be covered and how much they would pay for, and yada yada, insurance, blah blah blah. But when I brought it to the consulate, they looked at it and they said, we see that you're covered in Spain, but this is a reimbursement program and it's not what you need. They want someone who can directly pay the medical people there. I didn't end up fixing the document, but I believe it would be an easy fix. All you need to do is find a program that will cover you for 6 months or however long you're going, pay for that, and then they'll send you a letter and you'll be covered. The next step is going to be your criminal record, and this is the one that gave me the biggest headache. So criminal record, you know, it says you need fingerprints and you need state level clearance, which means it needs to be signed by the Secretary of State, and it also needs an apostille. All those things, I'm like, okay, great, but how do I do that? So I ended up calling like every local police station. I got sent to the jail to get fingerprints done. Realized later that pretty much everyone I called sent me on a wild goose chase because they didn't know what I needed. So here I am telling you, this is what you need. On the website for the Department of Public Safety, there is a very obscure link to how to do this. This website has not been updated probably since like AOL dial-up times. So instead of fixing their website, they have this number that you call, and there are people who literally guide you through how to use the website. Anyways, I got on the phone with this woman. She really helped me, and she said, okay, go to this page, and once you click this link, you can set up an appointment with a third-party system who does the state-level clearances for us. That's what I did. I called the number. I was able to set up an appointment. It wasn't very far from where I lived. I went there. They scanned my fingerprints. They get the documents sent to your house, and once you have these documents in hand, they have to be apostilled. An apostille is basically just a fancy stamp of approval proving that these criminal records are authentic. There's a couple options. So you can send your criminal background check to this location in Austin, and they can apostille it for you and send it back. I didn't have enough time to send them the criminal background check and then wait for them to send it back. So since I was driving to Houston anyway, I decided to just wake up extra early, come from Dallas to Austin, get it stamped in the Capitol, and then drive straight to Houston. Depending on where you live, that might not be convenient for you. Just plan ahead. The next step is going to be your medical records. And so these have to be from 3 months before your visa appointment. They want something pretty recent saying that you're healthy, and basically this document is going to say that you're free of all the diseases from the International Health Regulation of 2005. It also needs to say that you're free of mental illness, like you're healthy enough to travel, maybe that you're not addicted to drugs or anything. When you get your medical certificate, make sure they print it on a letterhead, make sure the doctor literally signed it. They had a problem because it looked as though my doctor used a stamp signature to sign it. I wasn't physically present when the doctor signed it, but he could have, I don't know. Or maybe he just has really perfect handwriting. But it needs to be like an ink signature that they can tell someone physically signed it, and it needs to have their printed name underneath it as well. And then lastly, you can get one of these at any post office. You just ask for a prepaid envelope with a tracking number and they'll give it to you. You'll need this because whether your visa is approved or denied, the consulate will need to mail you back your passport. Oh, and on top of everything else, in order to apply for a visa, it is also a fee of $160. It can't be anything but exact cash or a money order. If you're able to do all these things, then you should have a really smooth time applying to be a student in Spain. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helps you. Happy travels!